Ethan Chapin's sister-in-law speaks out on Reddit about DM's actions during and after the slayings. The Daily Mail visit the King Road house. And does Brian Koberger already have a new girlfriend? We're going to check out all of this and talk about it in tonight's episode. Let's hit the music. The music hits. What's going on, everybody? It's Monday night. It's February 6, 2023. Welcome back to another edition of the Opinionated Idiot. I'm that guy. I'm the Opinionated Idiot. How's everybody doing? I appreciate everybody checking out the live show this evening, and I appreciate all the new subscribers to the channel over these last couple of days, weeks, months. Thank you so much for liking and sharing and commenting on my content. I really do appreciate it. So how is everybody doing this evening? We have a lot to get into for tonight's show. I was scanning the interwebs today. I was scanning the interwebs. I was doing a little of this. I came across an article from the Daily Mail. Let's get right into this. Let's not wait. We're going to get right into it this evening. The Daily Mail. Boom. Let's make the screen a little larger here. We got some controversy going on, and I thought that something like this was going to start to happen. And I said that this was going to cause an issue, but from the Daily Mail, family of Idaho murder victim Ethan Chapin questions why surviving roommate DM didn't call the cops after hearing crying and screaming, and claims she called all of the girls in the house. There was phone calls to all of the girls from DM in the house rather than calling 911. Ethan's sister-in-law posted comments on Reddit after the murders took place. She claims that DM called her roommates rather than police. Mortensen said she heard screaming and crying on the night of the murders. Says a family member of murdered University of Idaho student Ethan Chapin has questioned why the surviving roommate of the slayings didn't call the police. An account believed to belong to Ethan's sister-in-law made several posts online before the arrest affidavit was unsealed for the suspected quadruple killer Brian Koberger. I am sorry, I am a stutterer. So yeah, it's not probably the best thing for a live show, but I do stutter, and I have terrible stuttering, so I apologize. The court document detailed how surviving roommate DM came face-to-face with the masked man on the night of the murders. And it goes on to say Ethan, 20, his girlfriend Xana, Maddie, 21, and Kaylee, 20, were all killed as they slept in the house on November 13th, and that is in 2022. His sister-in-law has since revealed that D, who was in the property at the time of the killings, along with BF, called all the roommates after she heard screaming and crying coming from the house. This raises a lot of questions. She called the roommates that night. She called their phones. There was no answer. And I've said that I've had an issue with this. Why was she not calling the police? If she heard screaming, she heard crying. She said that in the PCA. It's quoted in there. But she decided to go back in her room and wait till the morning, late in the morning, called her friends first to come to the house, and then made that phone call just around noontime the next day. Posting in a thread on Reddit, she said, Dee supposedly called all the girls in the house after crying and screaming stopped and no one answered. And she still didn't call the police. She needs to explain herself and her actions that night. When questioned about who called the police, she added the 911 caller was the friend who went in because Dee called him to come over because she was scared from what she heard that night. She was scared from what she heard that night. Why were you not calling the police? I've always had an issue with this. You can go back to all of my videos and all of my live streams. I've had an issue with this. He went to Xana and Ether's room first, then called 911. Why D&B didn't call the police once is the question. The affidavit revealed that M came face to face with a bushy-eyed, browed killer, but was spared along with F. M told police that she heard several scuffles throughout the night and opened the door where she saw the suspect dressed in all black with a mask covering his face and heard one of the housemates, "There's someone here. There's someone here." And then you're calling your roommates. There's no response. Why are you not calling the police? Why are you not even calling a friend at that point? Hey, can you come over? Can you check out? I think something might be going on. Can you just come over here and check on things? I'm scared to come out of my room. Can you just come to the house? We know that people came to and from that house at all hours of the night. What's the problem? M told police that I already read that. I'm fired up. I'm fired up tonight. That's the issue. I'm fired up. She also heard the suspect say, "It's okay. I'm here to help you." That is so creepy. And that, and that quote is something that continuously goes over in my head. It's okay. I'm here to help you. That bothers me. And that one I can't put my thumb on that one. Maybe that's to get close to the victim. Maybe that's to act like you're just one of these people that come and go all the time. It's okay. I'm here to help you. As he wandered the house committing the atrocity. Police confirmed that the 911 call was made from the phone of one of the surviving roommates at 11:58 a.m. At 11:58 a.m. the next day. I got issues with that. And I've had issues with that, and I've talked about it. Who requested help for the unconscious person, though has not been confirmed who spoke to police. That'll come out in trial, if this goes to trial. It has raised the question of why M didn't contact authorities sooner, with some arguing that she may have been in a frozen by fear. Frozen by fear. So here's the post on Reddit. It says, Ethan's sister-in-law has been verified. 911 caller was the friend who went in because Dee called him to come over because she was scared from what she had heard that night. He went to X and E rooms first and then called 911. Why D or B didn't call the police once is the question. And I knew I knew as time went on, this was going to be a thing. I knew these questions would be raised. Goes on to say, X and E were in their room by the Ethan's sister-in-law verified account on Reddit. Many questions why it took her so long to raise the alarm after hearing crying and coming face to face with the killer. And then from the court document from the PCA, it says DM stated that she looked out of her bedroom, didn't see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. DM stated that she opened the door a second time when she heard that she thought she heard crying coming from Canoodle's room. DM said that she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay. I'm here to help you." It's okay. I'm here to help you. If you guys can do me a favor, really quick, smash that like button down below, please. I would appreciate it. We're going to move on here. It says the roommate did not contact the authorities for 6 hours despite hearing several of her roommates in distress, as well as witnessing the killer. M told cops that she woke up around 4 a.m. by what sounded like a victim, KG, playing with her dog in the third floor bedroom. She said she looked out her bedroom and didn't see anything, looked again on the second occasion when she thought XK was crying. M stated she opened the door for a third time after she heard crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask covering the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Why are you not calling the police? I've had an issue with this. I've had issues with this. And I don't know why there's this big defense. Oh, well, you know, she's scared and she's going to go in the room. I got issues with this. I've had issues with this. And I think there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered around this. And I hope that we hear more about this. I hope we hear about it in trial. I hope we hear it more about it in the next coming months, because there is information being leaked now. People are talking. People that are close to this case are talking. And we're hearing stuff. We got a long ways to go till June. So after the man moved towards her, she said that she remained in a frozen shock phase as he continued past her, but let her survive. There are many, many questions. The online discussion also distincted where the bodies were found, with relative adding that both X and E were found in their room. And then, you know, we heard some conversation yesterday that E was actually found in the hallway. And what I'm probably guessing is maybe, you know, some reports are saying in the room, some reports are saying in the hallway. Was he halfway in, halfway out? You know, we're not going to really know all of this detail until trial, if there is a trial. Take a second, smash that like button down below. I would appreciate it. Back to the PCA. DM stated she opened the door for the third time after hearing crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing, a mask to cover the person's mouth, nose walking towards her. DM described the figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male she saw him. She was that close in the dark to make the distinction of this person. Bushy eyebrows. That's how fucking close she was to him. Now, again, we don't know if there were any lights on in the house. You know, there could have been a light in the kitchen, maybe through that that back slider. There's a lot of light. And you're going to see in a couple of minutes here, I'm going to bring up the King Road residence. Daily Mail just went out there about a couple of days ago and just showed the surrounding area. And I've only seen it from photographs. I haven't seen any video. So they did kind of a 360-degree walk around the house. Gives you kind of an idea of what it was like that night. But we're going to play that in a second. Ethan's mother also urged those affected by the tragedy to look instead look ahead as the suspect makes his way through the courts. Stacy Chapin said that nothing changed since Koberger's arrest, and the mourners should direct their anger elsewhere. It comes after sources told News Nation that Xana fought back against her attacker and repeatedly grabbed the knife used in the attacks. Sources claim that her fingers were nearly severed from the student trying to fight back, with her father, Jeffrey Knodel, giving the same information in November. He told CBS 5 the autopsy report showed that her daughter's skin showed bruising and torn by the knife. The FBI has also been forced to deny losing the suspect quadruple killer just moments after he left the apartment in Pullman, Washington, with his father, Michael, to return home to Pennsylvania. The pair just pulled out of the parking lot of his graduate house before he vanished sight, before pulling over twice. We already know these details. We already know this. I'm not gonna read too much more of this, but I wanted to talk about those Reddit posts. And there's still a lot of questions among these families of why the police were called so late. And that has been a very big sitting issue with myself. On my own channel, I've talked about it. It bothers me. It bothers me. And it should bother all of you. Let me see if there's any more posts here. The Reddit. Yeah. Hang on one second here. Let's read this here. New search warrant made public on January 17th shows that police found several hair strands, including one suspected animal hair, a black glove, computer tower, and an unnamed item with a collection of dark red spots. They also hauled away a pillow with a reddish brown stain on it and the top of a bottom of a mattress cover with multiple stains. Hang on one second. Let me just get to this chat. Susan, thank you for checking in this evening. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. We got a lot to go through this evening. Let me get back to this article in a second. I just have to check something really quick, guys. Hang in there 2 seconds. Oh, good old YouTube. All right. Taking care of that. Now it's back to business. Investigators who raided the property back in December also picked up receipts from Walmart, 2 Marshall receipts, as well as collecting the contents of the vacuum cleaner. Authorities initially sealed the search warrant for the murder suspect, Washington, arguing the release of the data details could prematurely end the investigation. However, the documents have been since unsealed with the approval of the Whitman County prosecutor, Dennis Tracy, who filed the motion on January 17th. The court documents show that 8 strands of hair were recovered from the apartment, as well as possible animal hair. They also recovered a fire stick during the search, all the items now being stored in the Washington University Police Department. Authorities reportedly said that they wanted to see if the hair had been transferred onto Koberger and then back to his apartment, including that of Kaylee Gonzalez's dog, Murphy. Murphy was found alive in Kaylee's room by the investigators, who were called to the scene, and is now returned to her ex-boyfriend. The application also states that the home where the students were murdered had a significant amount of blood from the victims, including splatter and cast-off. Investigators believe that likely the killer would have had blood evidence on their clothing or body and hope to find trace evidence in Koberger's apartment. However, they did not describe the results of any of the testing in the documents and did not confirm any hairs matched any of the victims or Kaylee's dog. His offices at Washington State University were also searched, but nothing was seized by the officers. So again, I have issues. Still have issues with the time that it took to call the police. I have a lot of issues with that still, and I've talked about that. Let me pull up some of these chats. Susan says, glad I caught this at 12:20 p.m. here. Whoa, 12:20 p.m. Where are you, Susan? Where in the world are you? Flathead Politics says the police had to have known that the two roommates were going to eventually be the target of suspicion for their actions. They maybe should have released a little more info on what happened initially. This is true. I like that statement. I heard there's rumors that they're actually in police protective custody right now, witness protection program, because there's so much hostility, and I wouldn't be surprised. But I have a lot of issues, and you guys should have issues with this too. It just doesn't make sense to me. If I'm living in a house and I have roommates and I'm hearing crying and screaming, and let's just say I pick up my phone to call into their room and say, hey, are you okay? And no one's getting back to me. Why are you not calling the police? Why are you not calling a friend? Hey, can you just come over and check things out? I'm afraid to come out of my room. I have issues. Susan's in Australia. Well, good eye, mate. That was probably pretty terrible. Would the roommate's behavior damage the case? No, because I think that they have so much circumstantial, and then of course we know the transfer DNA evidence. I think what's going to happen though when she gets on the stand, if she ever gets on the stand to be a witness in this case, if she wants to testify, I think that the defense team is going to have a field day trying to attack her credibility. Why? The first thing they say, why didn't you call the police right away? If you heard screaming and you heard this, why didn't you call the police right away? So they're going to have a field day with that, Susan. Exactly. I'm the biggest coward, but I'd frantically be calling the cops. Of course, if you hear some unusual activity in your house at 4 a.m., why are you not calling the police? Or something, calling a friend, wake someone up. Hey, can you come over and check things out? So speaking of that, let's do this. I have a video from Daily Mail. It's about a 2-minute video. We'll pull that up. They actually did a walk around of the residence of the King Road residence the other night. It'll give you kind of a perspective of what it may have looked like that night. And it gives you a perspective of kind of all the activity that goes on. And the thing that I have to know, and I don't know, in the video, what I'm seeing now is there is a lot of house lights on and street lights in that area. Now, I don't know if it's just because people are just keeping their lights on now after what happened, but I can assume that, the normal activities around that house were pretty much the same now. And it tells you, and it almost show you that having that light gives you kind of, easier access to surveil the house and see kind of what's going on. So let's pull that up and we'll take a look at this. Okay.
If you have a side gig and need to file your taxes, visit freetaxusa.com.
Wanted to take a look.
Hang on one second. Let me just pull this chat up. Flathead Politics says it's so hard for me to wrap my head around that she heard someone playing with the dog, but she didn't hear the utter chaos taking place. Ethan was standing in the door, in the open door also. Well, she heard what she thought was someone playing with the dog, like kind of banging around, and I would assume that's probably the struggle that was going on. And then Susan's just saying Flathead, yes. But let's play this video here, and we'll get kind of an idea of what it would be like that night at the King Road residence.
I wanted to take a look at what the house on King Road, the site of the Idaho 4 murders, looked like in darkness at night when the murder.
I mean, I'm assuming that, the porch light is on. That's probably by reason. I would assume that when the kids were there, the porch light wasn't on.
Occurred.
But you can see it. You can notice around this neighborhood area, even in the background here, you have a lot of lights that are on. And I don't know what particular time at night this is. This could be, you know, it could be 8 o'clock at night when people are still up. I doubt this is at 4 a.m., but it kind of gives you an idea of, you know, what it might have looked like.
Where I'm standing is the vantage point that the alleged killer would have had. I'm standing in the parking lot of the apartment building that's directly behind the house on King Road. There's a bunch of police tape here, but I'm still
see all the porch lights are on. You know, we'll go up a little bit in that background. You can look at all these lights that are on in these apartment buildings. I'm probably going to say that a lot of those lights probably stay on at night for student safety and just people coming into that area.
police tape here, but I'm still extremely close to where the actual house is. This is where the white Hyundai was spotted. Those are the sliding glass doors that the killer allegedly entered. And
let's see. Flathead Politics said, did BK knock on the door and Ethan opened it and got attacked? Was the door locked? I believe that the doors were unlocked. I'm assuming that Ethan may have maybe he had to use the restroom or something, came out in the hallway. As we know now that there's information being leaked that Ethan and Xana were the first the last victims. Maybe he heard something upstairs and was coming out to check on it. Now there's reports that when he was slayed either outside the room or in the doorway, but then there's other reports saying that he was in the room. So a lot of that stories are fuzzy right now. Susan saying, I seen a video last night that they apparently had enhanced the audio and that had another males and other noises. What's with that? I haven't seen that. That's really interesting. JMS is saying, this seems more like a hit on those kids than an obsession. I think there was one or two or more of Brian that night. Maybe DM was threatened and told to stay in her room. It could be possible. I know that, that's a lot of the other theory out there. I also know that when Koberger was arrested, he asked, was anybody else arrested? Now, I don't know if he's just doing that to throw the police off at that point, knowing what he knows about criminology. He does have his PhD. Maybe he was playing a little bit of mind tricks. In the kind of the joke is, I don't want to make it a joking situation, but for someone that's smart about criminology and knowing what he knows, if he is the person that did this, he was a pretty damn, he was very sloppy in his work. So it could be possible, JMS. Again, I try to stick to the facts here on this channel. If I find anything that supports that or any new details come out, I certainly will entertain that stuff. But I know there's a lot of theories being spit out there right now. And I do know that a lot of people think that there could be another person involved because of the whole timeline, that 6-minute timeline. I did do a video the other night with I forget what channel it was on, but an FBI, a retired FBI profiler was actually on that channel and talked extensively about this case and about that time frame of 6 minutes. And it's a really great video. You can go over and check it out on my channel. Basically, I think the title of it is it only took 6 minutes for the suspect to do this. So definitely go out and check that out. Susan says, Flathead Politics says, Susan, the 10 to Life channel said that the audio was fake. I think he may be thinking of the same audio. Yep. And she said, that's the one that I heard the loud thump. Yep. I think that it's the same audio from a few weeks ago, but let's continue with this video here. Appreciate everybody hanging in this evening and checking out the show. I really do. If you can go down there and hit the like button down below, it really would help the show out.
And I am a stone's throw from there.
So that's right about where his car was. And you can see going down kind of into that ravine area. It looks like there's maybe some granite steps in this area here, like a step. And then it goes down into kind of this path area. And then that would come around to the sliding door just around this right hand of the corner here. It's really strange seeing the screen out of the window too. I don't know if that's something that that happened, or when they were doing, when they were searching. And it's just it's just really strange. You see the grill, you see a chair, and it was like that's where people hung out, and that's where these these innocent lives were, and this is stuff that they used, and it's heartbreaking.
It's just like a slope, just a little slope right there. It seems pretty easy and pretty feasible that I don't know.
You can see like even just garbage that's been pulled over, and there's garbage bags, and
less than 60 seconds, you can make it from where I am standing to these sliding glass doors right there. Any noise would have been heard, so it's not surprising that a security camera next to Xana's bedroom at another home picked up whimpers, the dog barking, and a thud. You could hear a pin drop out here. Right here is the foundation to Xana's room. You can still actually see, even after all these weeks.
It's horrifying. You can still see the blood on the foundation.
The drips and drops of blood right there that had come out from the foundation. And of course, we now know that Xana was found on the floor of her bedroom, so that would make a lot of sense. It was really important for me to visit the scene of the crime after the media had kind of pulled out. At this point, I was the only reporter and pretty much the only person there this night. And my takeaway was that the way this house is positioned and where it is, these girls and Ethan Chapin were basically sitting ducks. It's too easy for someone to have slipped in and out with this parking lot back there and those sliding glass doors.
Wow. Incredible. Black Sheep says this all seems scripted. It seems fake at this point, like a made-for-TV special. I definitely don't think this is scripted, and I don't know if you're just kind of saying like it is. This all seems scripted. It just seems fake. It seems like a TV special. I don't know if you're figuratively saying that, or you're positively saying that, but okay. So moving along, does Bryan Kohberger already have a new girlfriend? I don't know if you guys have seen this. Worried for her child, Brittany, I'm going to say Hislop, professing her love for Bryan Kohberger, leaves internet concerned. This is actually today. This article was written. Oh boy. This is a woman named Brittany Hislop has been posting on social media claiming her unconditional love for Bryan Kohberger. Oh boy. The accused suspect of the Ohio murders is making women go crazy for him. A Kentucky woman, Brittany Hislop, recently revealed that she is lovesick over Bryan. The woman, who is 35 years old, shared multiple posts on social media where she claimed that Bryan is the perfect man for her and is her divine masculine counterpart. Holy shit. Oh man, it just gets crazier and crazier. Brittany Hislop, who has a 16-year-old, I'll get this out, who has 16-year-old boys, has written multiple letters to Bryan expressing her love for the accused killer. It all started on January 4th, 2023, when she first shared a Facebook post claiming that she never met him or spoken to him, but still had a deep level of infatuation for Bryan Kohberger. In a lengthy 2,500-word post, she said, and here's a quote, and I do know the post is below, and we can take our time and go through that as well. I don't know if Bryan is or was single when he supposedly committed the murders, but I wonder if he and I ever would have met if he would have liked me and if we could have connected well. And if we didn't, and if he did, in fact, commit those murders, it doesn't mean he would have hurt me and been abused. Although I don't personally know him and his temperament. This is almost funny to read. I just don't know that ideally my true love and perfect match wouldn't hurt me or do me like others have that were wrong towards me. Holy shit. These people are batshit crazy. Batshit crazy. Oh my God. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to read through some of it. I don't think I'd be able to read all of it. We'd have to do a fucking hour-long episode. Oh, Jesus. All right. Yesterday, after my last post, I had to tend to some responsibilities of mine. And for the most part, I had a productive day. Already, this person's crazy. I say it was yesterday because now it's after midnight. And you're at midnight, you're writing this crazy fucking letter about Brian Koberger. You're nuts. Oh, shit. All right. Let's see. Within the last few hours, I've seen some new videos regarding Brian Koberger. Now, he appeared in court yesterday, and also the body cam footage of when he was pulled over with the family, with his father, while driving back to Pennsylvania. I think it was. Oh man! In a new of the videos I watched, it mentioned how Brian looked over his parents and sisters when he walked in the courtroom, and now his mother and one of his sisters started crying, and how his mother and one of his sisters started someone crying, perhaps maybe to the bailiff or other staff in the courtroom brought them a tissue. I can clearly understand why seeing him and thinking of the situation would bring you to tears if he's someone you love. As I mentioned before, and I think she says, as I mentioned before, as I mentioned before, with me being a water sign, according to astrology, I've read that water signs rule and are associated with the emotions. And a couple of days ago, when I mentioned that I seen a video that people have compared to Brian Koberger to Ted Bundy, and I said that I don't view him in the same way since Ted's victims were strangers, and I think Brian's were ones he knew. And I think that the one that I mentioned a couple of days ago may be the one that had more of a connection with if he did commit the murders. I don't think that they were strangers. They never talked and they never were associated. But I think that one reason, whether it was mentioned in a video or not, this is the biggest run-on piece of shit I've ever read in my entire life. If Brian did like and have a special interest in one of the victims that I mentioned in a post days ago, I don't know if him wanting to be with her and not being a mutual, I can't even read this. If him wanting to be with her and it not being mutual had anything to do with it, and people could speculate why people commit crimes and kill people, but there can be many different reasons. I can't read all this. This is too much. Let's see. I'm trying to scan through some of this stuff. I should just taken notes on it. When I say that I've been deprived for love so long, I'm meaning a love life and relationship as well as a sex life, as mentioned before. But the words divine feminine, divine masculine appeal to me and make think of how my divine masculine is someone that is my true love and perfect match. Although some people think that we have multiple soulmates, including platonic family members. But I think that this girl is crazy, batshit fucking crazy. I know that there's a chance my divine masculine wouldn't have been born. I can't read this. I can't read through this. It's too much. I don't know if Brian is or was single when he supposedly committed the murders, but I wonder if he and I would have met, he would have liked me, and if I could have connected well. And if he did, if he did, I'd in fact commit those murders. It doesn't mean he would have hurt me and been abused. He doesn't mean he would have hurt me and been abused. Let me look at this chat real quick. Let's see. Black Sheep says, let's talk about Dylan being in a lying POS. She's in on it allegedly. Yeah, we've talked about that. And again, I had some huge issues with this, Black Sheep. We yeah, Susan, word salad, exactly. Word salad. If law enforcement don't have the rest of the story, this will turn into a cakewalk for the defendant. Well, I don't know, JMS. Yes, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence. We know that. Okay, we have the touch DNA. I still think that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. And I think what is happening, and I'm glad that you brought this up. Here's the whole thing with all of this. I think that when people look at this case right now, they're only looking at the one document, the PCA, okay? And you have to look at, in a PCA, that's just a probable cause affidavit that is given to a judge to a certain amount of evidence to say, this is the person that committed that crime. It's not going to have everything in there. I'm sure there's many, many articles of evidence in this case. We just haven't seen it, because the way that you have to look at it is, why would the prosecution on one hand play all of their cards? Why would they, like when you play poker, you hold your two cards here. Okay. You're not showing anybody else your cards. Why would you play poker like this? So the way that you have to look at it, all this evidence has not been seen or heard yet. You're not going to give the defense everything, because then they can legitimately get, put together a good case. Another thing you have to remember too is, keep this in mind. There was evidence that was found at Kohberger's house that is yet to been tested. We don't know. Maybe those red blotchy stains that they found on fabric has tested and it's all 4 victims' blood. If that's in his fucking house, it's over. It's game over, dude. Let's find the dog hair. Okay. Let's say that dog hair matches Kaylee's dog. It's over. Why would that hair be there? And the other piece of evidence that you have to look at, the hugest thing that we haven't heard about here yet is the car. Kohberger's car. The FBI is literally going to strip that car down to its bare knuckles and swab that entire car for any type of tissue, DNA, hair sample, fabric samples, anything, fingerprints, anything. So you still have the car. So I think that there's a lot more DNA evidence in this that we haven't seen. And we're going to find out in trial. Obviously we're not going to hear about it now because there's a gag order, but there are people talking. There is information getting out there, and that's why it's been continued to give us information out there. Let's get to some of these chats real quick. It says, it's a curveball by the media injecting a new story with this crazy lady. Yeah, I think it's just to try to keep things going and moving in their news cycle. I'm not even going to read this shit anymore. I mean, there's so much. What I can do, if you guys want to read it, I'll drop the link down there in the chat. Links there in the chat if you guys want to check it out. We got DM has hurt the case by calling her friends and not 911 first. Miles is saying that they are in love with Brian. And then Susan's asking if they're being sarcastic. No, he's super cute. Probably a little bit of trolling there. Flathead Politics saying Dylan was kind of thrown to the wolves with the lack of more clarity about her actions or lack of actions. Let's see. He could be innocent too. Yes, that is very true. And I've always said that on this channel. My mantra on this channel is, if there is anybody that is arrested or accused of a crime, they are welcome to they are earned due process, and anybody that is convicted of, not convicted, but accused of a crime is always innocent until proven guilty. I've always said that here on this channel. I've made that very clear. If you guys can do me a quick favor, go down there, hit that, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, I can kind of nose through a little bit more of this. This is the most run-on crap that I've ever seen. I'm not going to really read too much. Going back to the article, it says, furthermore, the internet is now reacting to the whole fiasco, and many are showing their concerns for Britney's kid. One social media user said, and this isn't her first time. She has written to others, I'm worried for her child. This girl needs to be on the FBI watch. All right, so let's see. Brian Kohberger has been in jail since January 5th, 2023, after he was accused of the fatal stabbing for the 4 college students on November 13th in 2022 in Moscow, Idaho. He's currently facing 4 counts for, we know that. This girl needs to be in the FBI watch list. Social media users share their reactions over the past shared by Britney and her perfect man, Brian Kohberger. Britney's posts for Brian have spread across social media like wildfire. While many have been supportive of her feelings towards the suspect, what fucking society are we living in now? What society would sit here and say, hey, yeah, I support, you liking a, suspected, quadruple murderer. You go, girl. You go, girl. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not in support of that. Not in support of that. Goes on to say, Britney posts for Brian have spread across social media like wildfire. While many have been supportive or feeling towards the suspect, others are finding them disturbing. I find them disturbing, and you should too. Many also claim that the police need to keep a vigilant eye on the woman. Wonder if Brian Kohberger had to get restraining order from the crazy Britney, yet laugh out loud, talk about crazy eyes, in love with criminals. This girl needs to be in the FBI watch list. She's even called her kid Damien. Kid has no chance in hell with a mother, with this mother. Some other people go on. This chick named Britney keeps making crazy ass Facebook posts about the obsessed that she has with BK, and her posts from the past are freaking wild too. She has a type. Her dad's son was in prison too. Stop giving this woman notoriety, as she is disturbed. Others have also commented on Britney's post and talked about the fact that the Kentucky woman needs help. Goes on to say, DL says, I'm convinced after barely any time at all that someone just effing around using AI to create a fake obsessed profile that probably is completely fake person, and everyone's getting worked up over nothing. And then S. Ryan W. says, it goes back to 2019, though. Mental health, you should get it checked out. They better keep an eye on her. She's not right. She's sure makes her kid is okay with the sick F. What the F wrong with you? This is only the way you can get, you could think of to get some attention. And it kind of goes on here, and they're kind of talking bipolar and going back and forth. She needs a psychotherapist. More details revealed as the lovesick BK pointed out multiple similarities between the two, from both being Scorpios to the two being born on the same day. Oh my God, this woman is crazy. Absolutely batshit crazy. Susan says this woman sounds as desperate for a date as the love interest always was. Says Brian Kohberger's new lover, who is from Kentucky, posts almost every hour of the day about how she's in love with Brian. What is this person doing for a living that they can sit home and post every hour of the day about a murder, a suspected murder, alleged murder? Looking at her Facebook feed, her consistency can be seen in postings all the similarities have in common. In a few posts, she also pointed out how BK and Brittany are both Scorpios and how their birth charts explain that they could be the divine masculine. He could be her divine masculine counterpart. This lady's fucking crazy. In one of the posts, she referred to as a scene from a vampire film, The Lost Boys, she said, when it shows the lovemaking scene between the man and the woman that are two different characters in the movie. Although it's not very explicit, I'd want to be with my love interest, Brian, in that way. Holy shit. Susan says, I got bipolar, but I thank God it's the good one. Miles, I think Miles trolling a little bit here. She says, he or she says, see, everybody loves Brian. That's a troll. That's a troll. Oh boy, there's more messages. I'm not going to read all these, but I have the link down there in the article if you want to go and check this out. In addition to her daily post about Brian Kohberger, she also claimed to have sent multiple letters to Kohberger in the county jail. However, the jail authorities have yet to reveal if the authorities or accused Brian Kohberger have received those letters from the Kentucky lover. At the same time, the internet is sharing a bizarre reaction towards the claims made by the lovesick mom. You know, these are people that just seek a lot of attention. Let's just pull this up. I'm gonna let this chat go here. Let's show that chat. So Black Sheep is saying, let's talk about the house being a drug house and the mom being charged with trafficking drugs, and Brian being a drug addict. Let's just say the TV won't. This is fucking drug related. Yeah, man. You know, I know that theory's been thrown around there again right now. I'm just sticking to the facts of the case. I mean, I certainly can do a little bit more investigation on that, but I tend to stick to the facts of the case that have not been brought up. And you know what? To Black Sheep's credit, we don't know. We don't know if this is going to be part of the trial. This could be something that's part of the trial. That information could be part of the trial, but we don't know. We won't know until trial or unless someone else can verify that at this point. Yeah, Susan's saying I'm doing a brilliant job getting through as much as I have. Yeah, again, I'm going to drop that link in the chat if you guys want to check it out. Afterwards, you can read all the kind of subplots here. At the same time, the internet, the lovesick mom. So yeah, it's a pretty crazy article. If you want to go back and read her post, by all means. I'm not going to read through all of them, but this is certainly someone that is looking, striving, starving for attention. They use these type of cases to jump on and get some attention to themselves. It's kind of like, what do we call that? Munchausen syndrome by proxy. And basically what that is, a mother will have a newborn baby and it will do things to it. So like a instance where the baby may be in its crib, the mother will hurt the baby, the family will come running and console the mom like, oh no, what's wrong? Are you okay? It's a very sick syndrome. And it's kind of like these people kind of pop up and, do these types of things when, these people are in the media, these crazy accused killers are in the media. So it's a perfect opportunity for them to jump on and get some shine and some attention their way too. But it's crazy. It's crazy. JMS says, I'm sorry, but all this adds up to a set up on Brian so far. So you don't believe that Brian did this. You don't believe it at all that Brian did this. You don't believe that at all. There is the evidence is so strong at this point that he is the suspect, that he is the accused. It's crazy that you wouldn't think. And by all means, call the show, debate me if you want. That's why the number is there. But my friends, it's getting to the hour mark. I'm going to end the show this evening. We've had a fantastic show. I love all the chatter here in the chat room. I do appreciate it. If this is your first time over here on the channel, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification so every time I go live or drop a new video, you guys will know. Susan, really great to see you in the chat this evening. I know you've been commenting a lot of my videos lately. I appreciate you coming over here and joining me so late at night. I stream right now. I'm on the schedule of Sunday and Wednesday nights at 9 p.m., but I've been doing a lot more spontaneous pop-ups lately because I've had a lot of free time here at home to do streams at night. But just, look for my post. If you see them come up, hit the bell notification. It'll let you know when I go live, and join the chat. It's always fun. I do appreciate it. And so with that, this is going to end the show this evening. I will be back on my regular time for Wednesday night. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a different direction on Wednesday night. I have been covering the Alec Baldwin trial. I have the interrogation video of the armor, and I do want to do a walkthrough of that. That's probably going to be on Wednesday. We'll let this rest a little bit, see what marinates in this case over the next couple of days. Maybe I can bring up some new information to go over, but I do appreciate it. So again, guys, with that being said, I am the Opinionated Idiot. And like I say, excuse me, opinions are like assholes, and everybody's got one. I'll see you guys back on Wednesday night. Thank you so much. Peace.